First of all, I have to say I love this view.
Thank you.
How long have you been living here?
It's been almost 2 years actually.
2 years?
Yeah. Everybody who was with me and everybody else that auditioned and made it to the top 24, to the top 12, to the top 10. You know, everybody's really, really talented at that point. It's anybody's game. So I was very, very grateful when it came to the top 3. I didn't think they were going to pick me for the finale once the top 3 went. Because Melinda, she, you know, was seasoned. She was older. She had so much control and emotion. And then there was Blake, who had all of the girls. Like they all loved him. I was like, how do I compete?
So well.
How do I compete with all the girls? You know. So when they called me for the finale, I genuinely was just so shocked. And then, you know, we went, and here I am.
Here you are. And you made history as the youngest person to ever win American Idol, even till date.
Still. 17 years old. I'm hanging on.
And Simon said something. He said that throughout the competition, you were the one that was the most transformed throughout the competition.
Yeah.
I mean, once you won, I can imagine the pressure that came to you with people, because you built a strong fan base, and I'm sure everybody was just waiting for you to release. Tell me about that moment when you won and that period when you had to put out music, because I know that even with your second album, you were saying that there was no time to really, you know, feature people because there was pressure on you to put it out.
I mean, it was essentially I won, and then they were like, congratulations, here you go. And then it was like, okay, so this is what we're doing. But it was insane because, yes, I needed to work on the album because they were already working on the next season. You know, auditions were happening and all that stuff. In the middle of us touring all summer long, they also started auditions again for the next season. And it's like, you've got to get that music out. They voted for you. That's what they want to hear. But I was in the middle of touring, and I was singing like 17 songs a night. And there was
17.
There was no time, like overall, like I had, or maybe not 17. It might have been 12 maybe.
But that's still a lot.
It is, especially if you're not used to doing that, because on Idol we're singing 2 minutes once a week, you know. So to go from that to then being pushed in, and I was the only person who wasn't allowed to miss a show because I won. So if I was sick, it didn't matter. If I had no voice, it didn't matter. I had to get on stage and perform and make sure that I gave, you know, the audience a great show. So I was doing that, and we did 59 shows in 56 cities. Right, so you can see that there's like no time. So on some of my off days, I was in the studio recording, so my voice never really got a break. So I recorded all of my main singles during that time. So One Step at a Time, No Air, Tattoo, Permanent Monday. I recorded all those during the tour. And then after the tour was done, I had like a 2.5 to 3 week window to write, record, mix, master, finish, and turn in the album. Yes, because we were aiming for November release. And then the album came out, and it did what it did.
And it did what it did.
Yeah, like it's just
Did you expect it though? That it was going to break records and go, it went platinum, right?
It went double platinum, yes.
Were you expecting that?
I mean, that's obviously what I wanted, what I dreamt, but you just never know, because seeing the previous seasons winning doesn't always equate to album sales or success primarily. So I just was kind of taking everything with a grain of salt, and like, yes, I have great expectations, but at the same time, if it doesn't do X, Y, and Z, that's okay, because I'm still living my dream. But it was really amazing for people to be hearing my music, and I had no control over it. You know what I mean? So that was a really amazing time in my life. Tiring, exhausting.
I can imagine.
But it was still just
unbelievable.
Man, I feel the feeling right now. You know, like I remember it so vividly. So yeah, it was great.
Your first album was named after yourself.
Yes.
Jordin.
Yes.
I mean, I know clearly the answer is there. There's a reason, because that was your first album. It was for you to introduce yourself officially to the world. But what would be the biggest song for you on that album?
On that album?
No Air?
For me, yes. No Air, what? No Air. No Air is undoubtedly like the song that has just taken me to new heights, new places, new continents, new countries, seeing new faces.
Ghana.
Yes, I'm coming. I'm coming for you guys.
We'll talk about that. Hold on.
It really just took on a life of its own. Chris and I performed that song one time. Until we performed it this last August. So in the last 16 years, that song has been performed twice.
What? How did you?
Well, Well, actually, that song came about because I originally had done it as a solo.
Yeah.
And because we were really trying to get things done and put everything together, and they were like, well, you know what would be cool if we had a feature? I said, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And they said, well, who would you like to work with?
Yeah.
And I was like, Chris Brown. That was like literally not even, I didn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
And I had been such a big fan of his music and of him, and I just thought it would be perfect. And it actually really worked out because we were signed to the same label.
Okay.
So I was able to be like, tell my A&R like, hey, he's here, like, let's make this work. And he heard the song and he loved it, and he recorded it separately, which is insane to think about, because I feel like when people listen to the song, you would think that we were singing in each other's face.
You didn't do that?
No, we did not. We were not even in the same studio together. And yeah, I
It was
know.
chemistry then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is, like, I listen to it now, and just knowing we're both adults, we're both grown now, we have kids, there's like a different type of love that we know.
Yeah.
I had no idea what love was
You
at
didn't
the
know?
time. No, I had never been in a relationship before.
So that kind of love. Not
Right.
the love from even family, because I know you were very close to your grandma. She was homeschooling you and all that.
My family definitely is where, like, when I was singing this song, I was thinking about losing somebody that I loved. So I was thinking about my best friends. I had lost a couple of people during the show. And so I was thinking about that type of love, that type of pain. And I think it really translated into the song.
Yeah.
I actually have never asked Chris what he was thinking about, because I'm sure he knew what love was,
Probably.
like puppy love and stuff.
Probably.
But the fact that we were both kids, we were kids singing that song, and the song has just taken on its own life and really has meant a lot to people, and that's all I really wanted was for my music to mean something to somebody, and for them to take that and to feel you know, intensely, or bring them back to a memory that they that it just instantly takes them back. So I'm really grateful that song people still walk up. Yes,
it still does.
People still walk up to me and are like, that was mine and my grandmother's song, and she passed away. That was our wedding song. That was the song I had my first kiss to. Like, and it just blows my mind every time. So I'm really grateful.
My voice is horrible, but I'm gonna try. I know I have to pay you a lot of money to perform this, but we're gonna do it anyway. So tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. Can't live, can't breathe with no air. 'Cause I'm here whenever you ain't there. There's no air, no air.
Got me out here in the water so deep. Tell me how you gonna be without me. If you ain't here, I just can't breathe. There's no air, no
That song is spiritual. I won't lie to you. I won't lie to you.
It feels like that for me too when I sing it. Like, it changes every time I sing it.
You sold how many millions of records on that?
Of that, I think it just passed the 4 million mark. Yeah, which I know, like, in today's terms, like, we list TikToks and it's like, oh, it's got 60 million views, you know? But for the time, like, for that to sell that many singles individually, like, everybody was like, I want to buy this song, you know, not just stream it. They wanted to buy it. So I'm proud of that song.
Tattoo was on that album as well.
Yes, Tattoo.
Oh, another favorite one.
One Step at a Time. There were some really great songs, and like, they've really taken me to so many different places and new heights.
Did you go on tour immediately after this album?
After I dropped that album, hold on, I gotta think. I gotta remember. Okay. Oh, so much stuff happened.
I know, that's a long time ago.
I put out the album, and then I went on basically a promo tour. Then I went on a Jingle Ball tour, which is basically all the major radio stations here do a Christmas show. I did that. Then there was like Christmas break for a little bit. And then I went into doing more radio promo around the country, doing one-off shows here and there. Then Miss Alicia Keys called me to do her As I Am tour.
Wait, she called you?
Well, I mean, like, you know.
Was that before or after you had said that you wanted to work with her? Because you mentioned a couple of names and you had said that one of the people you really wanted to work with.
It was after, It was
after you said that.
And she, I mean, I don't know, because putting tours together is different, but obviously the headliner wants to, you know, has a hand in who's not auditioning, but opening. And she was on her As I Am tour, which was massive. No One, Superwoman, like all of those songs. And so I was able to tour with her for the summer. And then that was my first tour after the Idol tour. Okay. So my very first one that was kind of like not with the American Idol anything was Alicia Keys' tour. And it was so great. She was so kind and just so sweet. And I learned so much from her. I pretty much watched her every night. She put on a 2-hour show every night, and I was fascinated because I was like, how does she do 2 hours? How in the world does her voice do 2 hours a night, you know? So I learned a lot, and I have a lot of respect for her. And over the years, she's been very kind as well. Anytime I see her, she's sweet and she's lovely, and like, Yeah, so I would love to work with her again. Absolutely.
How did you both go on tour and not work together? Because you were looking to record something with her, and till date,
I know. You know, it's the timing always has to be right. That's one thing that I've always believed. You know, what's meant for me will never miss me, and timing is everything. So it wasn't supposed to happen then. It's gonna happen now. Yeah. So we'll see,
Fingers
Alicia.
crossed. And you have to give me front row tickets to come and watch.
Yes.
When you guys go on tour together.
That would be fun, actually.
Yeah.
You know, if she tours Africa, I might just be like, hey,
I was just gonna say, imagine you're touring Africa.
You know, we could do this again. Because we also toured after the summer. There was like the little fall break, and then she went on tour in Australia and New Zealand, and she asked me to come with her there.
Did you go?
I did.
But there was a time you had to take a break because she suffered a throat.
I did. That was before the tour.
That was before.
Before the Alicia Keys tour.
Did it scare you?
Of course it did, because they were like, you're never going to sing again. Like, if you don't chill.
Wow.
And I had never experienced that before because, you know, growing up I was, you know, singing one song at church, or I was doing a competition, one song there, and everything. I never knew what warm-ups really were, because this is a gift. Like I was born with this voice, so I never really like took lessons to know how to sing. It's just been here. So for me, I wasn't really taking care of myself. I wasn't working out. I was eating all the wrong foods. I wasn't getting any sleep. And all of that leads to your voice not doing well. And so my left vocal cord hemorrhaged. It basically exploded. And they were like, look, you have to go on vocal rest. And if you don't, your voice could either sound completely different, or you might not sing again. And so I was like, you just tell me what I need to do. And so basically I missed all of rehearsals for the tour. I missed the first week of the tour. And when I finally did my first show, that was the first time I had sang. And I had no idea what was gonna come out.
Oh my God.
The pressure.
Look, exactly.
Girl, I was like, please. And so thank God he was like, ding, and my voice came out, and I was able to go out through the tour without a hitch. But that was really nerve-wracking, but it taught me a lot. Like, I really realized that, you know, your vocal cords, or anybody's vocal cords, they're like any other muscle that you have. You know, if you don't use it for a while, it gets a little bit weaker. If you push it too much, you can really injure it. So I learned a lot about myself, and
I'm glad
that
you did.
year. Yeah.
And then after that, you dropped a second single that had my all-time favorite song from you. Don't know what I was going through. I was in high school. I had just come out of high
Whatever
school.
Whatever it was, I was probably going through it too.
Probably, right? Because you sang it with so much emotion, and I was like,
that.
She probably got a broken heart the same time I did.
I meant that stuff.
And I was singing it, and I was like, oh my God, it's as if Jordin knew what I was going through.
Thank you.
Now, tell me about that, because had you suffered a loss at that point, which is why you were...
I gotta think. Okay, I was...
Or were you still going through difficulties with your partner at that time?
I was... Hold on, I'm trying to remember. So 2009. Yeah. I had just turned 19. Yeah. I was in a relationship, but it was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Like, I like you, but I don't know if I really see this going anywhere.
Is it
like,
the one I know?
Kind of thing.
Oh, that was later.
Oh, that was later.
Oh, that was later. Okay.
That one was later. This was somebody else. And yeah, it was just kind of difficult, but there was a lot of stuff going on in the world too, and in my personal life outside of just like a romantic relationship. You know, my parents were separating, and so they were, you know, finalizing that stuff, and we had a couple of losses in the family that year prior, and it was just a lot, and I was also tired. I'm not gonna lie, I was exhausted. I was
from
so
singing
tired.
And performing,
from everything. Yeah, it was just a lot of pressure, and I was still, even though it had been 2 years at that point since Idol, I was still learning how to deal with everything. How to deal with the pressure, and you know, okay, now I have to put out this. The first album did so well. Now it was like the pressure to fill my own shoes. Like now I have to make sure that this follows up well, and I'm so grateful that people related to that as well.
They did.
But yeah, there was a lot going on, and I
still have my armor on. You know?
My armor. Let's go. Yeah, and so I think all of that culminated into the song. Like, why does love always feel like a battlefield? And it's not necessarily just romantic. It's familial love. It's friendship love. It's work love. Like, you know, the things that you love sometimes can be really complicated and really complex. And so I remember that day. I was singing at the top of my lungs, like, better go and get your all. Oh man, it was
voice. But I mean, you got very mixed reactions from that. And I remember that at that time, and I used to read a lot because, like I said, I was so crazy about, you know, the kind of music you were putting out.
Yeah.
So I remember that the critics were saying that even though it was such a fantastic album, they felt that there was not much range and there was not much originality.
Range?
Do you remember?
Girl,
do you remember that?
Were they listening?
Originality, more like.
Okay.
Because they felt like a number of the songs on the album were sampled, more like. Was it? Is sampled
One of the songs was, SOS was the dance record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you see, I know my stuff, huh?
Okay, yes, but listen, so I mean, this is for everybody, but
Yeah.
that song I actually did not want to do. I was like, this isn't really me. This isn't my type of music. I love it, and it actually became my number one on the dance chart. So I'm grateful.
Imagine.
Please don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But in terms of like my ear and what I wanted to do, that was not one of the things I wanted to do. And they were like, okay, well, you can put your voice on it, but we won't put it on the album. Let's just hear it. And me being naive, because I didn't know how any of this stuff worked.
Yeah.
I won the contract. Like, I didn't know how this whole world worked. And I was like, okay. And I also hadn't learned how to say no. And that no is a complete sentence, you know? So, that song definitely wasn't one that I was like, this fits. It did not fit for me. So I understand if they were like, yeah, this doesn't work, because I felt the same way.
Did it get to you that people were saying that?
I didn't really
Pay attention,
to be honest. There was so much other stuff going on. I didn't really have time to do that. And also, the time was different. You know, I didn't have this stuff coming straight to our phones like we do now.
Exactly.
It was like, okay, Twitter and some Google alerts, and, you know, every once in a while I might hear something because somebody would be like, oh, Jordin, did you see this review or whatever? But I wasn't really paying attention to it like that. But I feel like that second album really opened up a side of me that had always been there. I listened to a lot of like 80s hair bands growing up, and Pat Benatar and Heart, and just all of these different amazingly powerful women over like really strong rock instrumentation. And I'd always wanted to do that. So I wanted to show people versatility, because my first album, it was definitely pop. It was definitely had some R&B. This next album was just pure power, anthem, strong. And I wanted to give people that. And I feel like people received it, i.e. Battlefield. Everybody loved it. So I'm grateful. But I understand like them thinking that it might not have matched because it was so different from the first album.
Exactly.
But what I've tried to do with my music is be authentic to where I am at that time in my life, in that space, so that the music is flowing purely and it matches what I'm going through now at this moment, and also who I am at the moment. Like, I feel like each project I've grown and I've been in different spaces. Like right here, right now, girl.
Yeah, totally different.
Talk about putting all of the toxic experiences and relationships and all of those things into that album. Like,
I like that you brought that up,
girl.
I remember, and I was pissed off. Listen, I was so pissed off, I unfollowed him.
Thanks. I appreciate the girl power.
Because I was like, how do you do that to such a sweet girl? Like, who does
Thank
that?
you. I appreciate that.
How did you take it? I know you were hurt.
I asked those questions too. Like, what? But it's fine. No, go ahead and ask.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, wait. So whether okay, so this is what I got from reading.
Sure. Yeah.
So apparently, what I read was that he said, I don't know if he said, but there were stories that he wanted to get married and he wasn't in that.
Oh, he said that.
He said that, right?
Yeah.
So you see, that's what pissed me off, and I am following him, because I was like, if you knew you didn't want to marry her, why did you lead her on till that point?
Right, he wrote the song and everything.
Yes.
Girl, you know. But hey, look, like, people are gonna do what they're going to do. I don't have control over that, and I think that was also a lesson that I learned, was like, people are gonna decide what they want to decide, but it has nothing to do with who I am as a person. Like, he's gonna make the decisions he wants to make. And at that time, yes, I was very hurt, because that was my first like
real.
I was going hard, and so I was very blindsided. But at the same time, like, I learned a lot. I don't think I would be able to appreciate my husband and everything that I have now if I didn't go through those crazy relationships. But yeah, I mean, there's always a he said, she said type of thing, but I was like, I got no comment. You are not about to get me to, you're not about to get me. And I've always been that way, you know, like I'm not a pot stirrer. I don't want to do that type of thing. And I'm very, I guess I'm very careful with my personal life, because, you know, people will do whatever they can and want to nitpick and do all of those things. So I'm grateful that I went through those things. It hurt at the time, but I'm much better because of it.
How did you meet Dana?
I met Dana.
Yeah, I like how you're just blowing up.
I met Dana doing charity work, to be honest with you. I followed the Super Bowl for 10 years. So every year we would go early in the week to be able to shine a spotlight on organizations that were making a difference in the Super Bowl city.
Yeah.
So that was Houston in 2017, and he actually wasn't there, but I met his mom, his dad, and his brother. And I wasn't thinking anything of it except the fact that like his mom and my mom kind of hit it off, and I was like, oh, that's dope. Like,
that was the first time they were meeting?
Yeah, it was the first time, but we weren't thinking about it in that. We were there to make sure that their organization like got media, and you know, we were talking to the kids, and I'm all for the kids. You know, what are we doing if we're not uplifting them and empowering them? You know, so we were down there for that, and she was like, "Oh, here's a picture of my kids." And, you know, I didn't think anything of it, and they were younger than what he actually was. So I was like, "Oh, okay, this is a nice picture." And so we left, and that was that. And then about a month later, my mom and his mom put us on a group text. And that's how we started talking. Yeah. Okay. That's how we started talking. We jumped into our own thread, and we never stopped talking. And
you remember your first date?
And it still is.
Yeah.
Our first date, I gotta think, you know, because it's different, especially with my schedule and work and stuff. Like, we started talking, it was very platonic.
Yeah.
Then he had already planned this trip to LA. Because he was pursuing modeling at the time. So I was like, all right, well, we've been talking. I feel comfortable. I feel safe that you're not going to pull any crazy stuff. So why don't you come over? And, you know, I thought it was going to be a conversation like, here's a church, here's some good food spots, you know, stay off the 405 freeway. I'll see you when I see you. And it actually was just crazy. As soon as he opened the door, I looked at him, and it literally hit me over my head. I was like, I was not expecting it at all. Completely blindsided in the best way. Like, and I knew the second day that he was my husband.
And that was it. So you got married after how long?
We started talking March.
Months? Yeah.
So 4 months. Yeah, everything happened really fast. Started talking in March, met in April, got married in July, and found out DJ was coming in August.
And that's been the best decision you've made in your life.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. 100%.
How many kids do you have at the moment?
Just one.
Oh, just one?
It's still just one.
I think you had two.
Nope, it's only gonna still be one.
Oh,
I'm
why?
done. Yeah, I'm done.
Why?
I'm done. Mentally, for myself, I don't think I would be able to handle it. Yeah.
Was it a difficult pregnancy?
No, it was really easy. That part was easy, but it's the splitting the attention after, because I'm very much like a all or nothing type person. So it was difficult to split between Dana and DJ, because I love them both so much, and I was like, how do I balance giving myself to each of them without with being able to leave a little bit for me, you know? And I feel like if we brought one more in, there'd be nothing left for me, and then I wouldn't be able to be present, and it might spiral. And so he also is like 5 kids in one. He's amazing. He has
Dana, where are you?
He has so much energy. DJ is so sweet, and he's so kind, and like, I love being able to give him all the attention that he needs, and I can be very present with him and leave my work at the door and just be able to focus on him. So yeah.
But you work together as well, because he manages you.
Dana, yes.
How do you separate that from, you know, your marriage?
Well, it's new, so we're still working on that. I feel like it's hard to separate because my job is 25/8. I'm always on. There's always something coming in. There's always an interview. There's always an appearance. There's always a session to do. So work is constantly coming. So we actually just had a conversation, I think like 2 weeks ago, where I was like, okay, I think we need to do a different structure so that we're able to just have a work conversation at a specific point. And then we can just leave it, because it's really hard, at least for me. He's different. His brain, I love the way his brain works. That's one of the things I love about him. But he's really able to just, he's constantly thinking. He's so creative, constantly thinking of ideas, partnerships, collaborations, brands. Like, it fascinates me so much. And I'm very much like, I work, and once I'm done with it, I'm done with it until the next day when I have to approach it again.
I see.
You know what I mean?
That's great. This same spot, and I'm saying I love this because earlier you had said you want to go on tour in Africa. And I remember that this same spot, one of our biggest, if not the biggest, from Ghana, posted a video where he was standing here, and I was like, wait, this is Jordin Sparks' studio?
Yes.
And her view?
Yes. Now you hear.
Yes, I am. Unbelievable. But how did you meet Stonebwoy?
Actually, it was divine timing. I'm not even gonna lie. So I was doing an interview at a radio station, and it went over a little bit. Like, obviously you can tell I don't have a hard time talking. So
I'm sure you can talk for like a week.
Yeah, we can talk forever. But we went over in the interview. We came out. We were doing some pictures at the end, so they had them. They had their content, and in walks Stonebwoy. And I'm just, taking pictures, and he's standing there, and I was like, I wasn't paying attention until he walked up to me, or I think it was his manager, maybe his representative, was like, hey, Stonebwoy would love to meet you. I was like, okay. He comes up and he was like, hi, I'm the biggest fan. Like, he's like, I love you so much. And I was like, this is so amazing. Because I just talked to Dana about how Ghana was the first African country that I had visited, and I loved it. The people were amazing. I know it was in it might have been 2007 actually.
That's when you came to Ghana.
Either 2007 or 2008.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Accra. We have a wonderful surprise for you this morning. Here to sing the national anthem is the American Idol for 2007, Miss Jordin Sparks.
Wait, what? Yes, it was a while ago.
Okay.
But I went down and everybody was just so kind and so nice, and the food and everything was just amazing.
Do you remember what food you were having?
What did I have? I know I had some rice, but I don't remember like the specifics of it.
Soup?
But I know that
Kenke?
Fufu maybe.
Yeah,
I think it was
the
that.
one you eat with your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, you liked it?
Yes, it was good. It was good. So I haven't had it since then, so I need to have it again.
Yeah.
So when we come, please, we'll go out to eat or something.
Worry.
Okay.
I got you.
But it was the first country that I had visited in Africa, and I just remember feeling so overwhelmed and at home at the same time. And I know a lot has changed over the last 16 years, and I'm sure it's even more amazing.
It's better,
but we had just talked about it, and so he walked in. He was like, "Yeah, I'm from Ghana," and I was like, wait a minute, hold the phone. So we started talking, and he was like, I'd love to work with you. I said, let's do it.
Yeah.
And Grammy weekend, all the artists come in, and it's so cool. You never know what kind of collaboration is going to come, and he made it work. The next day, he came here to the
Just
studio.
like that.
Just like that. We were like, we have time. If you want to come on over. And we had set the session for a certain amount of time, and he ended up staying like a couple hours later. We all just bonded. Him and his wife and me and Dana have the same anniversary date.
What?
Yes, I know. It's insane. There were just so many things that lined up parallel. So it was very divine. I definitely think we were supposed to meet at that time, do the song, and I'm also going to put my vocals on one of his songs. He left one for me to put my vocals on.
So you guys are working on 2 songs?
Yes. So we're working on 2 songs, and then, they were talking, they were like, have you ever toured Africa? I said, no, but it is my dream.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to tour internationally. Africa is the first place that I want to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm really, really excited for everything to open up.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait to see you guys. I can't wait to see you.
But what's Stonebwoy like in the studio? And when you heard his vocals, what did you make of it?
They were beautiful. One, he has really good control over his voice, so he can push and make it really fun and party, but he can also pull it back and be very soft and romantic, which I really, really like. He has a very well-rounded voice and range, but he's also just really nice. So being in the studio with him, it was just really easy to connect and really easy to have a good time. And we talked about life and our family and kids, and he got me really excited to go to Africa, because he was like, yeah, we got all these festivals and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, come in December. My birthday's in December. So I'm like, oh, we gonna make this work.
You're coming this December?
Yes.
For sure.
We're just gonna put it out there that that's happening.
Okay.
Because I want that to happen. So
yeah.
I don't know how it works, but request me to come, please.
Well, no, we're already telling you to come. And Stonebwoy has a big concert in December as well.
Yes.
So I hope that you're there in Ghana so you can also perform.
Hopefully I will actually, no, we're going to say, I'm going to walk out on that stage. It's going to be great.
Okay.
Because I'm into manifesting and making sure that you say that when it happens, not if. When
it happens. It's definitely happening. This year, we're seeing Jordin Sparks in Ghana. For the second time, but for the first time.
But I'll be performing this time. Yes.
So that's going to be fantastic, and I cannot wait.
Thank you.
I can't wait. So 2 songs recorded.
Yes.
When are you going to put that out?
I don't know. I hope as soon as possible, to be honest.
What's it called?
The song that I actually don't know the name of the song that he left. I'm not sure. But it's kind of more like a laid back feel from him. So I'm excited for that. And then the one that I did is called happy, could be happy. So it's uplifting, it's happy, it's for everyone, and so I think people are really gonna like it and relate to it.
Definitely.
And I feel like it definitely represents both of us because we're both just happy people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's a good person, he's a good egg, a good human, and he really deserves all the success that he's been having.
Does.
I'm so great. And he was like, I'm moving to LA. I said, please move to LA. You can come here anytime.
Somebody's moving to LA?
Not like, I don't think permanently. I think he just wants to have a spot here. Yeah. So he can come and do his work here and then head back home. But I was like, when you come, just let me know. We'll go to dinner. The kids can have a play date because our kids are similar in age.
Okay, now
so
this is like couples date and all of that. So
yeah.
I need to get married if I want to also move to LA and have dinner with you and your husband. I need to bring my husband here.
No, you don't have to get married. You just got to find somebody who's good. And we can still go to dinner, lunch, whatever it is.
But the next time I'm here, we're definitely doing something.
Yeah, let's do lunch or something. I think that'd be great.
But what do you say to everyone out there who's loved your music all these years, looking forward to you coming back with some crazy song for them?
Oh man. See, this is where I get emotional because for me, I didn't do this for the fame aspect. You know, like there are a lot of people who are like, I want to be famous, and so it doesn't really matter. If they can sing, that might not still be their goal.
Yeah.
But for me, I just wanted to sing, and I wanted to touch people through my music.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's, oh Lord, it's going to be 16 years in May since I won American Idol, and honestly, I'm just grateful that people still want to know what I'm doing, that they still want to hear my voice, that they still are supporting me in every single way. Like, they support me in everything, my music, my acting career, my philanthropy, my, my executive producer, like, type stuff that I want to do. And I'm just really grateful to have fans that are like that, you know? And I hope, actually I know the new music that you guys are gonna hear, you're gonna love it. And I know it's been a long time, but it's so worth the wait. It's gonna be so worth it. It's gonna be so worth it. And I cannot wait to come and perform on the stages. So thank you. Thank you so much for keeping me here. Like,
thank you.
Because it's all about them, you know? What are we if not our fans, you know?
Yeah, and thank you so much for speaking to us.
Of course.
And inviting us to your home.
Yes.
And we're inviting you to Ghana as well. We'll invite you into our homes as well. And we'll give you some fufu and soup.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so ready.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much.
So lovely.
Oh, thank you. See you soon. I will see you soon.
Okay, guys. So new album coming out soon, I'm sure.
It is coming out soon. Actually, in the next, I think it's the next after Super Bowl, the next 2 weeks, I'm finalizing what goes on the album, what the album is called, all of that.
So thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
I mean, it's been a pleasure. Jordin Sparks, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God.
Bye.
All right, guys. We'll see you.